My name is Dermot Rush and I'm here to talk to you about the science of human performance at work. I'm a psychologist by training and I've worked over 30 years in a range of sectors from health right across through business and commerce to human resource consulting. Over the last 20 years there has been tremendous progress made by the two disciplines of organisation psychology and strategic human resource management. We have now got to the point where we have a science, and I use that word advisedly, that tells us how we can best organise and deploy the way we manage our people in order to get the most effective performance possible from our organisations. Now, this is not a hard science like physics or chemistry, but it is a science. It's based on research over the last 20 years that has looked at a wide range of organisations across all sectors. This research has looked at what makes the difference in how people are selected, deployed, organised and managed at work, and how does that affect the overall level of organisational performance. Through this research, we have now got to the point where we can accurately measure the human characteristics that are most likely to predict effective performance at work, and we can also accurately measure the ways that we organise human resource management practices such as selection, deployment, internal communication and performance management. Another reason why I call this a scientific approach is that we're now in a position where we can actually predict in a cause and effect manner that if we organise and manage our people in particular ways, we will get a particular type of performance from them. Now, you might say this is all a lot of academic theory, but it does make a huge difference to how organisations actually perform on the ground. Let me give you two examples. Over a period of about 14 years in the United States, a large study has been conducted of over 3,000 organisations across most sectors of the economy. That study has successfully identified a range of about 14 human resource management practices and systems that differentiate high-performing from less well-performing organisations. If we cut to the bottom line of this research, we see that the top 10% of the highest performing organisations achieve a sales per employee of over $617,000 per employee, whereas the organisations who aren't using the same range of integrated human resource management practices are only achieving a sales per employee of $158,000 per employee. Similarly, if we look at the book value of the organisations, in other words the market value as seen by investors, the top 10% of high-performing organisations are achieving a book value of 3 times that achieved by the lower-performing organisations. And finally, if we look at turnover, which is a measure of how long employees stay in an organisation and how committed they are, the organisations who are using the appropriate human resource management practices have a turnover of only 20%, whereas those in the lower-performing organisations have a turnover of over 30%. Now, we're looking at those organisations from a more commercial perspective, but if we actually look at another example, a public sector example, a study in the NHS in the UK has shown, well, if you think about hospitals generally, and if I say to you, what's one measure would you pick to identify what would make a hospital successful, you would probably say the number of doctors in the hospital. And you're right. Traditionally, the best predictor of hospital performance has been the number of doctors per bed. But a recent study in the UK conducted by Dr. Michael West has conclusively shown that hospitals that use 3 particular human resource management practices achieve higher rates of effectiveness and lower mortality, in other words deaths, than other hospitals. Those 3 human resource management practices are formal performance appraisal for staff, teamwork and team development, and focused training for all employees. Now, it would be lovely to say to you that now that we have this science well established, it is easy to come up with a solution for your organisation, and that there is a simple approach for every organisation. However, there isn't a one size fits all approach. And so there is a skilled element you need to deploy which will match the right human resource management practices with your business strategy. And that's where Tandem Consulting comes in. If you want to find out more about how to make your organisation more effective through your people, contact us at Tandem Consulting.